A fourth person now facing charges in connection to the shooting death of a Lexington teenager. What we've learned about the arrest.
When I came out and looked out the door, I mean, this whole street was just covered in cops.
A police officer shot and a suspect found dead in a Paris neighborhood. What neighbors are telling us about the frightening scene.
What firefighters think caused a forest fire in Powell County that's still burning tonight.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening to you. There are some new developments tonight in the shooting death of 15-year-old Trinity Gay. Lexington police announced this afternoon a fourth person has been arrested in connection to the case.
Police have charged 20-year-old Lamont Williams with wanton endangerment earlier today. 3 other men were arrested on Sunday on the same charge. WKYT's Monique Blair has the latest on the case. It's our top story tonight at 6.
Right now, only 2 of the 4 men who are charged in this case are in jail here at the Fayette County Detention Center, and that's because 2 of them bonded out this afternoon. The father-son duo, 38-year-old Shazare Taylor and 19-year-old DeMarco Taylor, were each released today on a $5,000 full cash bond. The third man, who was arrested Sunday, 21-year-old Devonta Middlebrooks, is still in jail. He is the only suspect out of the 4 who has an additional charge against him, which is possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. His bond is set at $12,500. Lexington police tell me they have determined that Lamont Williams, the suspect who was arrested today, along with the 3 other suspects in this case, fired multiple gunshots at the time of the incident. Police tell me they are trying to determine the sequence of events that led to 15-year-old Trinity Gay's death. So in order to do that, they have to gather forensics, digital, testimonial, and other evidence. That evidence will be sent to the Kentucky State Police Crime Lab for further analysis. This murder has touched many people here in the community, as we witnessed Monday night at a vigil for Trinity Gay. And since then, the Cookout restaurant where she was shot has put up a message on their outside board saying, "Thoughts and prayers for the family of Trinity Gay." The charge of wanton endangerment first degree, which each of the suspects face, carries a minimum penalty of 1 year in prison and a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison. In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Trinity Gay's family told us they respectfully decline to make a comment on the new developments in the case.
A frightening night in a Paris neighborhood. Tonight we're learning more about what investigators say led to a police officer being shot. The suspect later died after an exchange of gunfire. This all happened late last night at a home on Brent Street in Paris. Police say the officer's bulletproof vest kept him from being injured. WKYT Sean Moody was at the scene for much of the night. He has the latest on the investigation.
While the situation was unfolding here along Brent Street last night, police were all over the neighborhood trying to make sure people were safe. They were moving some people out of their homes, blocking off intersections, while they say Charles Stidham fired shots at officers through his windows. They said they were hoping for a peaceful resolution, but around 2 a.m., they said they found Stidham dead inside the house after an exchange of gunfire. For neighbors up and down Brent Street Tuesday night, this was the scene. State police said 34-year-old Charles Stidham shot a Paris police officer in his bulletproof vest. An officer is okay. That turned into this standoff. There were shots like this every so often until police finally went inside around 2 a.m. That's when they said they found Stidham dead inside the house. They haven't said exactly how he was killed.
And when I came out and looked out the door, I mean, this whole street was just covered in cops.
Wow.
It was, I mean, they were hiding behind cars and everything else.
Terry Leonard and other people living along Brent Street spent the evening trying to figure out what was going on from a safe distance. Even blocks away on Main Street, workers at a hair salon said one of the police rubber bullets came in through a window. They discovered it this morning.
I mean, I don't fault the police in any way. I mean, you got somebody shooting at you. You got to do what you got to do.
And Kentucky State Police say they are still investigating. In Paris, Sean Moody, WKYT.
We did some checking. Records from the Bourbon County Detention Center showed Stidham had been booked on several charges over the past few years, including assault and theft.
In an interview with WKYT last night, Lexington Police Chief Mark Barnard said that police have increased patrols in parts of the city that have seen increased crime. But he also asked the community to take a stand against violence. And one of the areas police are focusing on right now is the Winburn neighborhood. And new at 6, WKYT's Hillary Thornton talked to a Lexington police officer who's working on building relationships in that neighborhood.
What's going on, Mr.
This is how Officer Brandon Mervichik spends some of his day.
Grown to know the people, and I like the people out here, and I love it. I kind of take offense to it when people say that this is a bad part of town.
Working the area for several years as a patrol officer on third shift, now taking a new assignment as the neighborhood officer for communities like Winburn, Hollow Creek, and Green Acres.
My job now is totally different than it was when I was on third shift. You know, third shift, you always go to those calls that, you know, they're calling you when something has happened, and unfortunately, a lot of times it's for the bad. But now during the day shift, this is a whole new different type of policing that I'm involved in.
His job now all about building strong relationships.
All right, y'all have a good day. Let them know that we're not just here to answer those bad calls, we're here to help.
Starting those relationships with some of the neighborhood's youngest members, beginning his days here at Winburn Middle.
I'm not here because this is a bad school, this is a great school. It's got a great staff. It's got, I'm here just to let them know that if they need help, I'm here to help.
While he is only about a month into this new assignment, he says he absolutely loves it, and he says a big part of that is because of the time he gets to spend here at the school.
The little things like playing basketball with the kids, those kids that I play basketball with, they know that they can come to me.
The relationships formed in school and on the streets, key to helping his fellow officers better protect his neighborhood.
They'll call the police if they need assistance, if they know something that is, you know, to help us solve crimes. A lot of people think that all the police could be bad, but, you know, we're there to help you, and we'll assist you, and we're just normal people just like they are.
In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Also, Lexington police are still searching for answers in a recent murder in the Winburn neighborhood. Yesterday, the chief told us that investigators are frustrated by the lack of information coming in for the deaths of Mariah Coleman and her unborn son.
New tonight, a grand jury has indicted a woman in connection to a deadly crash in Whitley County. Sonia Askins has been indicted on a murder charge. In July, police say her car hit Joshua and Teresa Bennett as the couple walked on the side of Highway 895. Teresa died after the crash. Police say Askins drove off, but they later arrested her. They say Askins admitted taking prescription pills and drinking moonshine before the crash. Nicholasville police call it an unusual crime. They say two men robbed the Family Dollar on Main Street around noon today while customers were inside. Police released surveillance video from the store. They say a man in a pink hoodie pulled a gun on a clerk and stole money from the cash register. Police say a second man in a black hoodie stood watch at the door the entire time.
Pretty brazen individuals to walk into a business at noon and do what they did. It is quite unusual for us. We've only had a couple armed robberies in the last few years, which most are at nighttime, but this one was rather unique.
Nicholasville police say the suspects appear to be in their late teens or early 20s. At last check, they had not made any arrest.
Our stretch of unseasonably warm weather will soon be ending, and we'll also be tracking some showers and maybe some storms. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey joins us with an early look at the forecast. What a change.
Yeah, big changes on the way. And you know what? It has been a very calm but very nice fall across the Bluegrass State. That's going to change up tomorrow. We'll ugly it up, but that's actually a good thing. We could use some rain. After a day of record highs into parts of central and eastern Kentucky, thermometers starting to come down a little bit, all the way down into the low 80s as of right now, which those numbers are still way, way above where we should be. Dealing with, again, 80 to 85. Severe thunderstorms are just to the north of the Ohio River. Nothing across Kentucky as of yet, but we're watching two thunderstorm complexes that have warnings with them. That one just to the south of Bloomington actually had a tornado warning not too long ago. Severe thunderstorm warning to the west of Covington, Boone, Kent, and Campbell counties. That is heading into that general direction. May graze parts of northern Kentucky over the next 2 or 3 hours. Flemingsburg, Vanceburg, Maysville, a little isolated stuff over the past few hours. Here's your future radar. Hour by hour, and notice how those thunderstorms do indeed blow across the northern parts of Kentucky. Now, watch our timeline, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, everything is okay. Chances are, when you're up and at 'em, heading out the door tomorrow, a lot of us are going to do so with dry weather. Don't plan for that to last for the entire day, because when I come back in a few minutes, we're going to show you how showers and thunderstorms are going to rapidly increase tomorrow to give us the best rain chance we've had since August. And then the big temperature plunge follows that, guys. It's busy in the 7-day in a few.
Thank you, Chris. And all that dry weather we've seen the last few weeks has really fueled a forest fire in the Red River Gorge.
Firefighters say an abandoned campfire started that fire along the Auger Ridge Trail in Powell County. They say they're still trying to get that fire under control. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner has the latest.
Okay, ready.
This month is what, our second or third time out this fall.
Todd Williams and Elizabeth LaPointe drove down from Indiana to hike the gorge.
Because the rain was coming, we were going to take the ridge today before it came and then go down into the valley.
He's referring to Auger Ridge Trail.
This fire seems to follow me around here.
Where crews are battling a forest fire that has the trail shut down, causing this pair to reroute.
Right here, we have to get here.
We have to go back up this road here to the turnaround, and then it takes
this.
off that way up.
This is what officials call forest ground fuel. It's that time of year you can just feel that the leaves are really dry.
It's actually burning in an area that burned 6 years ago. It was so hot that it even killed the large, mature, overstory trees. With this fire, we still have some dead and down material, so there are a lot of ground fuels out there on the ground.
Officials say it was just the perfect storm. They think over the weekend some campers didn't fully extinguish their fire, and the dry and windy conditions caused it to reignite.
I think campfires are kind of a famous American tradition, you know, with marshmallows and all that stuff, and that's fine, but you just have to be careful.
Officials say to really put out a fire, you have to drown it in water. Stir, add more water, and stir again. For now, the fire is burning low. In Powell County, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
And firefighters expect to be keeping an eye on that fire for a few days.
A new report has some alarming findings about dental care among Kentucky's children. That's next on WKYT News at 6.
And then doctors call the procedure a success. Hear from the first woman to receive a hand transplant in Kentucky. While health leaders say Kentuckians have better access to dentists, a new report claims the oral health of the state's children is getting worse.
That report from Delta Dental, and Kentucky Youth Advocate says that 41% of 3rd and 6th graders surveyed had untreated cavities. And the report says that more Kentucky children needed early or urgent dental care compared to the last study back in 2001. The report recommends parents have children drink water instead of sugary drinks.
New tonight, doctors say the first female hand transplant performed in Kentucky is a success. The recipient, 69-year-old Luella Aker, lost parts of both arms and legs from an infection she caught during cleanup efforts after a 2012 tornado in Indiana. She received a double hand transplant during a 17-hour procedure last month at Jewish Hospital in Louisville. Aker says while she doesn't know the donor, she does have a message for that person's family.
I couldn't love them anymore. Than any of my family.
This is the second hand transplant done in Kentucky and only the 10th hand transplant overall. Doctors say hand transplants last nearly 20 years.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Gusty winds out there today, ushering in temperatures back into the low and mid 80s into most of central and eastern Kentucky. Now, we're gearing up for the big change we've been promising for several days now, actually for the past week. Let's get into it. Temperatures taking center stage out there today, but look at the difference from Covington to just Frankfort. 8 degrees showing up right now. That's where we have a front and some big thunderstorms on the way to far northern Kentucky. So 80 to 85 across much of central and eastern Kentucky. Go to the north, 50s and 60s are showing up. That's quite the difference. We just happen to be on the summery side of that. Clouds increasing, and if you notice here, the tops of a thunderstorm showing up on our sky cam that is actually into southern Indiana. That's a severe thunderstorm that is rolling toward Boone, Kenton, and Campbell counties. Likely to get a warning out of this into northern Kentucky over the next half hour or so, and it's got a twin right behind it that earlier had a tornado warning with that. So you got to watch these cells that are out on their own just a little bit. We'll watch this lead cell. It's crossing over into the bluegrass state now. It may try to turn toward the right just a little bit. Notice it's trying to do that. That sometimes can show a little spin with that. So a right turner of a supercell thunderstorm heading toward northern Kentucky. And look at 3D Defender. Haven't had a chance to put this to use in a long time. But that thunderstorm is really spiking up there. And again, it's heading into northern Kentucky, so we'll keep a very close eye on that. A little farther to the east, you've got a shower thunderstorm trying to pop into Fleming County, Carter County, and points to the north. Whatever's out there in northern Kentucky should stay in northern Kentucky over the next couple of hours. Then we get low pressure and colder air to kind of team up on the region as we go into the day tomorrow. That spells an increase in showers and thunderstorms. Many of us tomorrow morning will wake up and it's dry. Don't dress for dry weather for the rest of the day. Into the afternoon, especially, and through the evening, heavy rains will likely unfold across the region. Temperatures will take a dive too. Hour-by-hour forecast shows that well. Here we go at 8 in the morning. A lot of dry times. Noon, all of a sudden, thunderstorms are rumbling through the area. Strong storms are possible tomorrow. Can't rule out some isolated severe weather central and eastern Kentucky as that front blasts its way through here. And then the chilly air, and watch how the rains continue to feed in here even into the first part of our Friday. Temperatures in the 50s during that time. On a gusty northwesterly wind, it'll feel colder than that. It's going to be a chilly evening for high school football games. 30s early on Saturday, but with a gusty wind, I don't think we're going to see frost as of right now. You got to get those winds to calm down to get in on some patchy frost. We'll keep an eye on that. Overall, though, the temperature crash will take center stage after we get those showers and storms through the area tomorrow into the first part of Friday. Afternoon temperatures mid and upper 50s into Saturday. Long range call Sunday early next week. Highs in the 60s, lows in the 40s. We'll keep a close eye on the thunderstorm complex northern Kentucky right now, guys. That may be prompt some warnings out of far northern Kentucky in the next half hour.
All right, interesting. Chris, thank you.
Just ahead, the media making its picks and predictions at Media Day.
And no surprise, Kentucky is picked to win the league, but what about all conference honors for Cal's Cats? And who is working the hardest in practice? John Calipari talked about that late this afternoon in Nashville. Stay with us. Sports is up next. The Wildcats taking their turn at SEC Media Days in Nashville. Let's head right back to Brian Milam at Bridgestone Arena for more of what John Calipari told the media late this afternoon.
Here in Nashville for the SEC Basketball Media Days, and as Alabama is to football, everybody shows up to hear what Nick Saban says. Well, when it comes to basketball, the media and everybody shows up to hear John Calipari talk about the upcoming season. He brought with him today Isaiah Briscoe and Isaac Humphries. None of the freshmen, the much heralded freshmen, made the trip. Kentucky is picked to win the SEC and to do a lot of great things this coming season.
But Bam is now getting in shape. Like, that ankle kept him out for how long? You know, it was almost 2 months, a high ankle. But he's now, I just got the GPS reports. The hardest worker we had was Wenyon, and then it was Isaac. So Briscoe, the last 2 weeks, it's been Briscoe and Wenyon. And Bam has stepped up because he was mad that Isaac was working harder. So, I mean, it's, you know, we're trying to get them to understand we're watching, we're challenging, we're just trying to get every player we have be the best version of you.
The Basketball Media Day is in the books, and everybody knows Kentucky is absolutely loaded with talent, a lot of it younger talent, but now it's time for them to live up to those lofty expectations. Reporting from Nashville, I'm Brian Milam, WKYT.
Thanks, Brian. The media again picking UK to win the SEC crown. Florida is the second choice, followed by Texas A&M, Georgia, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, and Alabama. Bottom half of the poll looks like this: South Carolina, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Auburn, and LSU, Tennessee, and Missouri bring up the rear of the conference. Preseason all-conference honors: 2 Kentucky freshmen named to the first team, Bam Adebayo and De'Aaron Fox. Second team, sophomore Isaiah Briscoe and freshman Malik Monk. So again, the bar is set high. Arkansas forward Moses Kingsley is the preseason player of the year. Friday night, get your next look at John Calipari's latest edition of the Wildcats Blue-White game in Rupp, 7 o'clock on the SEC Network. Kentucky football will try to take another big step in the right direction as Mississippi State comes into town this weekend. The Cats will be going for their 4th win of the season. That would move them to within 2 games of being bowl eligible with 5 left on the schedule. And the Cats looked on as Georgia and Tennessee lost over the weekend, so there's a lot of opportunity.
I mean, it was really a shock to me watching all those games this weekend and different teams losing and all that. So, I mean, it benefits us, obviously. We just have to go out and execute and win games. So.
We got a lot more confidence now. You know, we're going to just take it like we take every game we have so far. We're doing good, and, you know, we're just going to try to, you know, just do the things we've been doing. We've been working more harder in practice. You know, the coach has been coaching us harder on the little things, so a lot's been working for us.
Well, a lot has, and the Cats are back at it in Commonwealth Stadium against Mississippi State Saturday, 7:30 kickoff on the SEC Network. And what is shaping up, Sam and Amber, to be another big game.
Yes, it is. Final check with Chris of your First Alert forecast is next.
And then on the CBS Evening News, how a northern Kentucky community is using a new method to fight opioid addiction. Could it be the key to ending the problem all across the country? Some folks are starting to see a little storminess.
Yeah, you know what? We were concentrating on northern Kentucky. Severe thunderstorm warning is out, and even a tornado warning there into just west of the Covington area, southern parts of Indiana. Those are twin severe thunderstorms rolling toward the east. That includes Gallatin County. Does not get into downtown Covington as of yet, but Boone County with that severe thunderstorm warning until 6:45. And there's a small part of that into southern Indiana that has a tornado warning with it. We'll continue to follow that over on the CW.
Live next. Join us at 6:30 on the CW.
Good night.